When I went to the Eras Tour concert with my kids, it was directly accurate. Like, these kids lose their minds.
I can't get away. I can't stop. I'll just do this one last one.
Enjoy the rest of the concert.
Why should audiences see this movie specifically in theaters?
Oh, this movie's made for an audience participation. Like, Knight's the only director I've ever worked with who is so unabashedly into it for the audience experience. Like, he just sits behind the monitor and watches everything we're doing, like, as an audience member. He gets very excited when things are working, and then when he tries to, he tweaks things to make sure that the experience is gonna be great for the audience. It's a movie that requires, like, a bunch of people in a room to both get excited and to be scared together, and hopefully to laugh a little bit. It's fun, and it's supposed to, you know, it's supposed to be seen in an audience seen with a bunch of people. I haven't seen it yet with a bunch of people. I'm going to see it on Wednesday for the first time with the whole premiere crowd, and I'm excited about that.
You know, that, for me, that's all I care about, is making the art form for the movie theaters, that the audience comes to the theater to feel an immersive experience where, and in this case, you're going to a concert and you're in an arena, you're hearing the screaming, the chanting, the music bouncing off of it. You're trying to figure your way out of this thing that you're in with Josh, and you know, it's suspenseful, it's shocking. I want you to have like a full body experience when you're there. You're taken away by a concert and you're losing your breath from the thriller, and you want to do that with the largest group possible in a movie theater. You don't want to have, you know, you want to share all of that, the laughter. It's very, you know, loud movie. People really talk at the movie and really react and applaud in the right places and gasp and then get dead silent for this part of the movie where they're all like, oh, is this really happening? What's happening? So that it's a group experience. That's the art form. It's not just the movie. It's the movie with the audience. That's the art form.
It's also very much about kind of the audience experience, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's where Knight comes from. He's not trying to. He's less focused on like critical praise and more focused on audience engagement and what they would dig, like how it's gonna play. And the best thing about Knight's movies generally, in my opinion, is that he takes a genre that you think you know and he twists it and comes at it from a completely different angle. So like in this one, I mean, you could say that The Sixth Sense was a ghost story told from the ghost's perspective, who didn't know he was a ghost. The Signs was an alien invasion film where you didn't see the aliens invading. You know, this is a like 90s style contained thriller where you're following the antagonist, you're following the bad guy through it. So it's like Die Hard from Hans Gruber's perspective or something, and that guy happens to be this psychotic serial killer who's finding out something about himself over the course of the day. It's a crazy concept. It's a lot of fun.
For you, is it more fun to play the good guy or to play the bad guy?
It depends on the good guy and the bad guy. Like, this character was a lot of fun, but at the same time, the research was horrible. Like, to get into the headspace of where he's coming from was not much fun at all, but then the playing of it was great. Like, the freedom of someone who just doesn't care at all what anyone else thinks and has a layer, you know, multiple layers of artifice in front of him, masks that he lets crack over the course, not even lets crack, that are cracked by this experience over the course of the process of the film. It's very cool, like, to be able to kind of watch a character fall apart, to watch a character learn something, and to be able to kind of clock that the whole way through. And Knight's like such a collaborative director, it just made for a really wonderful experience. And he's also like one of the warmest and funniest people I know, so in contradiction to the subject matter, we were constantly laughing.
Was there a concert experience in particular that inspired you to make this movie?
You know, it wasn't a concert experience. It was basically Saleka's life of being a musician on the road and watching her play at many things, and my friends that are musicians. That I was very aware of this life of what this world is and the steps of a concert, and I love the ritual of each of these steps. So I thought this would be a great place. And then Saleka, the conversations with Saleka about, do you think you could write an entire album that we could put in the movie that the characters actually listen to, and you know, a Herculean task. So it kind of came from those conversations.
Well, I'm a father, and I've recently gone to my first concert with my oldest daughters. It was at the time that we filmed this, I was unaware of the amount of kind of mania that the audience feels for these pop icons. It felt to me almost like over the top while we were filming it, but it created an atmosphere and a vibe, and I was like, oh, Knight's just, you know, he's just painting in these colors in order to make it seem larger than life. And then when I went to the Eras tour concert with my kids, it was directly accurate. Like, these kids lose their minds, and it was really gratifying to see that Knight had captured that so completely in this film. And also doing it all in camera with real film, and like the concert going on upstage as we're playing the actual roles, and like the people around us all singing along because they were given the music beforehand, and like being actual fans of Lady Ravens, who's a fictitious character. It's just kind of, it's amazing. It's amazing.
This movie is really about like a father-daughter relationship, or at least a big part of it. And I know that you worked on this movie with Saleka. What is it about that dynamic that kind of was important to you, or you wanted to explore while you were making this movie?
You know, it's funny the way you asked that. I kind of thought of something different. I thought of like, you know, when you're a guy and you have a daughter, you just start behaving in ways that is so different. You're basically subjugating yourself. Everything that makes you a guy, a man, you know, is irrelevant. She just wants the soft side, you know? And then because of that, you're so protective of them in a way that's like primal, that, you know, you're parts of you, you know, you do anything for them. And in this case, this father-daughter relation, which is so beautiful and pure between, you know, Cooper and Riley, that it's being threatened, and it's the things that he's done that is threatening this. So the thing that's threatening his daughter is himself, the things that he's done. It's such a complex equation for Josh to play, that I might have ruined this perfect thing that I have. It's a beautiful conflict.
You're a master of the psychological thriller genre, obviously. What advice do you have for young creatives looking to explore maybe the darker sides of life through art?
I feel that there's a kind of yin and yang to life. So, you know, I'll give you, for example, you know, if you're doing something dark, you need to portray the light side. If you're doing something light, you need to portray the dark. So if you do the light without the dark, it's cheesy. It doesn't ring true, right? You need to have it. So let's pretend you have the scene where the mom's watching the kids score the touchdown at the big game at the end, right? You need to have the mom feel lost, because this is the moment she loses her son, because he just caught the big game and now he's on his own, and I need the actress to play that. All of that stuff needs to be there when you're making a movie. So I'm happy to go dark places, but I do that because I'm a very optimistic guy and I see the world as a benevolent place. So I don't mind taking you really, really dark, because you'll still feel the hand of the person telling the story believes in the light.
I know that you shoot a lot around the Philly area. Is there anything that you think makes Philly audiences unique?
Philly audiences?
Yeah.
I mean, we're you know, it's a kind of a mix of a small town, you know, kind of loyalties and, you know, all of that stuff. That we're really bound in a kind of almost small town culture. Like when you're Philly, you're Philly, and you never really leave, and you're very devoted, like a small town, but it's a big city, you know, over 4 million people. It's a big city, and so we have kind of, in my opinion, a very beautiful balance of the two.
Come closer. What's going on, Daddy?
Open the goddamn door!